Dig into the big game tonight. Justin Herbert leading the Chargers against the Ravens. LA is 7-3, their best start since 2018, according to offensive tackle Rashawn Slater. Herbert has definitely been a leader in helping create a good culture, adding, I love that he's been more animated. Whenever we see him have that energy, he's very infectious. It's almost like the quarterback is feeding off the coach and that positive energy. I know that sounds very nerdy for football people, but it's like that stuff matters, I think. It really does.
This is the best defense in the league. Last year, same players, worst defense in the league. Think coaching matters? Jesse Minter? I mean, Sean Payton, Bo Nix? Like, you are seeing great coaching in the NFL. Sean Payton, Jim Harbaugh. Like, just all you don't have to change the roster. Add a couple pieces and get the right staff in there.
Minter spent, I believe, 3 seasons in Baltimore on that staff. So now you have a lot of familiarity with this Chargers staff. And I'm not gonna lie, I'm rooting Chargers tonight. Are you rooting? Do you root for teams or not really?
It's hard to root against Baltimore because I really respect how the business is run. But all my friends are with the Chargers, so I have more proximity. I have more people I know inside the Chargers than any organization in the NFL. So it's hard for me not to want to see the Chargers win.
And it's one of those, if Lamar loses this game, Colin, and they fall to 7-5,
what does this
you
mean?
root for storylines.
Oh, okay.
I mean, if the Chargers lose, it's not the end of the world. They've exceeded expectations.
True.
If the Ravens lose,
and Lamar's great, and they just can't stop him. What does it mean? Lamar's no good?
No. I mean, I'd like to see him win a big game. When I say that on air and all these Ravens fans, what about when he beat Joe Burrow week 7 or whatever?
None of these wins on Thursday and Monday and Sunday have been big games. The big one on the schedule before the season was clearly at the Chargers.
No, the big one was the Kansas City Chiefs to open the season, and they lost.
By a toe.
Lamar was fine. And then they peeled off a bunch of wins, and then now they've been struggling a little. I don't feel as good about the Ravens now as I did like a month ago.
I don't either, but it's their defense. It's not their offense. I don't feel...
Okay, let's talk about this. Oh, man, I'm conflicted on which direction I want to go into this because they were like, hey, this is a Chargers segment, and now they're talking about the Ravens, and obviously I know they're playing each other. Since this video will most likely have a pretty short life to it because I'm recording this like literally a few hours before the game, so this might be one of those videos that honestly doesn't even get a lot of views in general, quite frankly, because once the game starts, people are going to be watching the game, obviously. But yeah, I'm actually incredibly excited for this game, more excited than I even realized, honestly, because sometimes some of these standalone games are kind of like, yeah, I'm going to watch it and take notes and, make videos about it, but I'm like, whatever. This game I actually am incredibly pumped for. In terms of rooting interest, like it's funny, I try not to root either, because I really do take pride in being as unbiased as I possibly can, as a human being can be. But these are two teams that I want to see do well, win. I love the storylines behind both these teams, quite frankly. And so the way how I look at it is where the Ravens and the Chargers, it's kind of like not only what will be more interesting storylines. I don't think, because what J-Mac is pretty much saying is that if the Ravens lose, it makes a more interesting storyline. And I'm like, in what way? Of criticizing the Ravens? I mean, I've already been criticizing the Ravens. Criticizing Lamar? You want to put this on Lamar? I mean, like, I don't even understand anymore. Like, I'm so sick and tired of that constant back and forth narrative. Listen, to a degree, it makes my life a little bit easier because I get to make videos defending Lamar, which is, like, honestly pretty easy to do. So it's like, by all means, if you want to keep giving me fuel for that, let's go. But I think with the Chargers and the Ravens, what they're doing, I look at it as you'd have to really kind of look at the numbers and see, the NFL will be better. The playoffs will be better with both these teams going into the playoffs, maybe even playing each other in the playoffs. Or again, like I want to be able to see the Ravens versus the Chiefs again, the Chargers versus the Chiefs. Like it's just, I'm more interested in all of that. And since the Chiefs obviously are such the belle of the ball, for the last few years, of course, like it's almost a shame when like a team like the Patriots, the Eagles, the Lions, the Chiefs, where they get a bye, because then you lose a playoff game from them. And again, I get it if you're a fan of that team, like you want to buy and you don't want them to play, but like if you're just a fan of sports, like I want to be able to see in the playoffs the Chiefs play the Chargers, the Ravens, the Bills. Right? You want to see them play every team, honestly. Same thing with the Eagles, the Lions, like all these great teams. I want to see. I want the action. I want to see it. So the Chargers winning keeps it on the tails of the Chiefs, honestly, in terms of just even winning the division. So interesting storylines, and obviously if the Ravens lose, that puts the Steelers more in a position to continue to win their division. So there's a lot at stake for both of these teams, quite frankly. There really, really is. Obviously brother to brother matchup, which has not really been much of a storyline, quite frankly. I'm not sure, someone correct me if I'm wrong, have they played each other, have they gone against each other since that Super Bowl? I honestly don't remember how that all unfolded, if they played again. They probably have, I assume, but I honestly I don't remember. I'm not up to my hardball competition. But this game should be really fun, should be interesting. I think there's still a lot to learn about who the Chargers are as a team, and the question remains about the Ravens, like, can they be consistently great? That still is a huge question for the Ravens. The Chargers, people are still trying to figure out, how great are the Chargers? What can they do? Can they actually dethrone the Chiefs this season? Can they go beat the Chiefs in the regular season and maybe even steal the division if they get a little lucky? Like, is that actually a possibility, or is it, nah, Chargers will be kind of a lower level seed, they'll get themselves in the playoffs, maybe get a win, maybe not, but it's all about next year and beyond. The Ravens, on the other hand, kind of have this opposite perspective where it's kind of like, we were just there. We went to the AFC Championship game. This season is not unfolding how we thought it was going to. We got to get things going now. We got to right this ship. We had a couple bad losses that some were on us. Some were just, hey, that's the way the football gods work. But we got to get this going now. We got to start to play our top level ball. Because we see, at the end of the day, teams like the Chiefs, they're still finding ways to win even when they're not playing good. Even if they're playing against an inferior team like the Panthers, they at least don't drop that game. Where on the flip side, you have the Ravens dropping those games, and they have to figure out, why is that happening? What is going on? And we're at this point in the season where it's like, you figure it out now. If you don't figure it out now, you don't figure it out at all. So it's going to be like, there's a lot at stake. The Chargers get to really define who they are. Hey, we just beat the Ravens. We are a top team in the NFL. We are not just happy to belong here. The Ravens, on the other hand, can win convincingly and say, yo, yes, we've had some inconsistent games. We've had some bad moments, but do not forget that we are a top team in the NFL. We got to find ourselves in the playoffs, and then you go. Let's see who wants to face Lamar Jackson and the Baltimore Ravens and Derrick Henry in the playoffs. Come see us. Let's go. You think it's so exciting to go up against the Ravens and think you can beat us? Prove it, right? Like, you get to bring that energy. So this game has a lot, is kind of a great barometer for both these teams, and so I'm excited to see how it unfolds. Honestly, I really have no predictions. I really don't. I mean, I could see the Ravens absolutely rolling the Chargers, and I can see the Chargers and the Ravens going back and forth, and the Chargers pulling off a win. Like, I think it's either the Chargers win a close game or the Ravens roll the Chargers. That's kind of my gut, but again, it's always hard to tell. I see the Chargers rolling the Ravens. I would see that, like, actually pretty shocking. I mean, I would be genuinely like, wow, that's again, it would either be the Ravens are not as good as I think they are, or the Chargers are even better than what I think they are. So either way, should be interesting conclusions to draw, honestly. But those are just my thoughts. I'd absolutely love to hear yours. What do you guys all think about the Chargers versus the Ravens? Who you got tonight? Let me know in the comments below. I read every single comment, so whether you agree with me or disagree with me, either way, let's get in some discussions, let's get in some fights, but ultimately, let's just have some fun. And please do consider subscribing. We are building an amazing community here, and I'd absolutely love to see you part of it. I want to build something that we all genuinely feel connected to, something that we're really excited to be part of. I think we're well on our way to doing it. And please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, as it really does help with the visibility and the algorithm. Thank you so much. See you next time.